Welcome to Total Review Talk, or Total Retalk, and today I'm giving a no-spoiler review on Blade Runner 2049, which was released on October 5th, 2017. So, Blade Runner 2049. My initial feelings of this, it's very reserved, to be honest. I mean, looking back at the original Blade Runner, it is an absolute masterpiece. So naturally, when I heard that they were doing a sequel, I wasn't impressed. I think as a lot of Blade Runner fans as well, like myself, I was sat there thinking, what are they going to do with this? They're going to absolutely ruin it. Anyway, I then sort of had a word in myself and thought, if I'm going to do this, let's go in it and let's just give it a non-analytical, sort of view on it, and just go there and enjoy the ride, which is what I did. So I went in there and I just allowed myself to get immersed in the world. And let me tell you, visually, this world is beautiful. It really does take you back to that feeling of Blade Runner when you watch it back on either Blu-ray or DVD or VHS. That feeling, that where you're transported to into that world, it is captured again in this new Blade Runner 2049. And what I loved about the original as well, and I apologise to compare very early on, but in the original, nothing seemed over the top in terms of CGI, or like the models didn't seem cheap or anything like that. It was all within a great visual boundaries, and that's exactly what's been done here. Nothing here looks fake. You wouldn't sort of look at it and think, oh, that's gone beyond the technology that they've got that's capable to them. And that's what I really loved about it, visually. And like I say, you are absolutely just transported into that world for the whole 164 minutes, I think it is, of pure sci-fi, and that is absolutely fantastic. The story itself is quite well layered. I think it's definitely something I'm going to have to watch more than once. Because at 2 hours and 44 minutes, to sit there and try and take it all in, it's not going to happen. There's a lot that I came out of there with a lot of questions that I'm going to have to go back and sort of review again what's gone on. But that's what I like about it. It's not overly simple. They haven't just done the typical Hollywood sequel thing that seems to be doing at the minute, which is just throw in CGI upon CGI and a very poor storyline and some okay acting. They've taken their time here and they've really got the script quite well written. And they've done with it, I think, all that they can really to get a successful sequel. So it's a strong storyline, but it's not too difficult to follow, which is what I like about it. A lot of questions along the way, and it keeps you guessing, and that's what I like about it. The acting as well keeps you guessing along with it. Never been a huge fan of Ryan Gosling, if I'm honest, but going into this, it really made me sit forward and take note. I'm not going to go too much into it. I don't think I can at the minute without putting any spoilers. But what I loved about it is the way he acted with it. I could not understand his thought process at all. Like when he was going through, and I think that was great for keeping you wondering what was going to happen next. Nothing seemed to be revealed in his acting of what was going on, and that was great. Obviously, Harrison Ford, great classic actor, really brought back Deckard. And that was just fantastic to see as well. The acting is exactly how I'd expect Deckard to be 30 years later, and that was fantastic to see. The intensity that he carries along is still there. Absolutely top-notch acting from Harrison Ford. Jared Leto's in it as well, and he was quite intense with what he did. But I thought nothing was better than when he seemed to be partnered up in scenes with Sylvia Hoeks, who plays Love, and when those two were together, that was there was some real intense acting going on there. Again, I think that helped keep that original Blade Runner feel, that is just I think what helps bring out the script is what brings it alive. Through the actors, and that's exactly what I saw, especially when those two were, a lethal combination as such, but in a good way. We got Dave Bautista as well, and what I like about him, we haven't really seen too much of him in terms of acting on the big screen. Yes, he's a big name in the WWE world, and we've seen him in, you know, a Bond film, and obviously more recently Guardians of the Galaxy. But what I loved about this was he wasn't over the top or anything like that. He was very believable, you know, as the character that he portrays, and that was great to see, because you tend to find with the bigger guys in acting, you know, a lot of them are very much big fans of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they try to emulate that again. And unfortunately, we're not really in that generation anymore where that will get you to the top. You know, you can't really be that kind of cardboard macho man like he used to be, and Dave Bautista, I think, knows that. And yeah, I thought his acting was fantastic through that. Now, I don't believe that this is a spoiler, because I actually read this trivia before the film even came out or started shooting properly. But the opening scene is taken from an unused idea for the first Blade Runner. And when I found this out, this actually got me a bit excited, and also again a bit reserved. But I went into the cinema, I sat in there, and I watched it play out, and it was exactly how I pictured it to be. You know, step by step as you went through this scene. So that was fantastic to see as well, that wasn't ruined. It was how I'd always envisioned that scene to be. So that was fantastic as well. Okay, so I seem to be overly impressed at the minute. I mean, I am impressed with the fact that they still use like daytime shots, even though the original Blade Runner is very dark and, you know, noir. They dare to use daytime shots, and I still think it worked quite well. And it still helped to create that kind of desperate feel. You know, when you look at the original Blade Runner, there is this like desperation among society, and I think they've created that again in the shots that they've created here. So yeah, very job well done for that. But okay, so I'm impressed. However, there must be some negatives, and the main one for me, I get it, but there were some very unnecessary long shots that I thought are long scenes, you know, and I get why they've done it like that. You know, looking back at the original Blade Runner, it was done like that to create that atmosphere, you know, to make it just that something different, you know, the way that Ridley Scott did it. Like I say, to have you in this completely different world. So I get it. I get the long shots in that, but there was still a couple in there where even I was kind of like, okay, this is going a bit too far now. Let's cut it down. Let's go from there. So yeah, that's my main sort of review on with no spoilers on Blade Runner 2049. If you're interested, there are actually some movie shorts out there. I think you can find them on YouTube and that itself. So there's some clips that range from when the original Blade Runner took place, which I believe was 2019. So there's an animated short, Blade Runner 2022. There's another one for Blade Runner 2036 and 2048. All leading up to Blade Runner 2049. Like I said, I think the longest one is the animated one of about 15 minutes. The other ones, like 2036 and 2048, are live action, and they're only about sort of 4 or 5 minutes each. But again, it will give you an idea of what the new Blade Runner has captured. It's not been directed by the same director who did Blade Runner 2049. I believe one of them was actually done by Ridley Scott's brother or son. I have to really look into that. But yeah, they've done a great job just with their little shorts as well from there. So that's my movie review. No spoilers there whatsoever. I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, and by all means leave a comment. I will give another review later on. Full spoilers. I will put the warning on before I give the review. So yeah, have a good day YouTube, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.